ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we...
Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
We're here at it on a Monday. Nebraska loses 45-7 to Michigan. We're here to break it down. The game, the human elements, that'll be next segment. Is all hope lost? What's on tap for the Huskers? Plenty to talk about here today. If you have any thoughts, let us know. 402-464-5685. That's our Sartor Heyman text line, our Honda of Lincoln hotline. We also have a video stream brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams up and running for you. I'm Austin Norman. Really good at relying on the expertise of the man to my left, the right, if you're looking at the screen, the 9-year NBA vet, the Husker Hall of Famer, repping the station here today, loud and proud, Eric Strickland.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Great to have made it through another weekend. It is not promised to any of us, and so I'm grateful to have done so, especially after leaving out of there early. Sitting in the stadium, getting a chance to hear some of the disgruntled discussions that are going on around me, different things like that. So that was enlightening. But more so than anything, just glad to be here. It's another opportunity, man. At the station, it is beautiful, another beautiful day. How long? This is a part of the question of the day. How long is the sun and the beauties of these days here in Nebraska are going to last? My question of the day, when after we get through some of our segments, but even to you guys on the Sartor Heyman text line, at where you can always reach us. We're thankful to Allo VIP line as well. that is brought to you, that line is brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. So that's the text line at 402-464-5685. This is the question of the day for me is how long, I'm talking about the weather now, how long is it going to sustain before the snow and all the cold starts dumping on us? How long are the fans going to be patient with the program? Because some people are looking around the landscape. We'll get into a little bit of depth on that, I think, throughout the segment today, but that's one of the questions that I just have for those who are listening. How much patience are you willing to take over the rest of the season and forward before you really go into disgruntled mode?
You might not like the answer. It will definitely go down easier with a big plate of Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Big thanks to Charles and his crew down there at 29th and Pine Lake. Check them out starting on Wednesday. To answer your question, Strick, I'm going to flip it back around to you with a question here in a sec. I think the answer is different for those who, bought tickets to the game, accepted tickets to go to the game, and those who didn't buy because they knew this was coming and they wanted to sit at home on their couch.
Mm-hmm.
What we heard in post-game was same old, more of the same. Nebraska going to Nebraska. Oh, it's just Nebraska. I'm sick and tired of this. We're just waiting around. We're being spoon-fed hope every offseason with no change. You mentioned you were at the game, again, just for a half because it was hot. You didn't want to deal with, a 28-0 beatdown that was only going to get worse.
Oh, and you knew it. Like what you just said, it wasn't even like you could sense that there would be a change. You just knew it wasn't going to change.
Right. So if you were at the game on the text line, let us know. And I'll ask you this here, Strick. What was that chatter at the game? The people around you, what was their conversation? What were they saying? What was the vibe in the stadium?
It was very similar to just the same type of things that you were saying. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're just continuously getting gashed. Oh, they're not, it just doesn't seem to be any hustle. They don't seem to have any, what's the word I'm looking for, Austin? You had mentioned it last time. Any sense of urgency.
Right.
Mm-hmm. just seem lethargic and, oh, here we go again. Then the fumble. Oh, same old thing. When they hiked, there was a hike and then the Harbor didn't catch it. Yeah. So you were hearing a lot of that, man. And so it, you take it in. Then some of the Michigan fans that I was around, they were actually pretty good. They weren't nasty. They were, asking questions. People were talking to them around them. I still think that's the beautiful part of what I see about Nebraska is, the Nebraska fans are some of the best. And, but as much as they were beating the tail out of us, they weren't, they could have really stuck it to us and put it in our, like that, but they didn't, so it was pretty cool.
Not cool.
I was out of there. I was out. I'm not gonna lie. I was on my way home. I was like, I really felt, Austin, that I was at a point where I'd go and watch maybe a better game,
mm-hmm.
And
about half the stadium.
Yeah. Oh, they were out.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. And it wasn't, none of them was clicking the ticket to get back in. They were just like, yeah, no. They were going, they were going to tailgate. It was and finish up the day, or I saw something on the highway. So, yeah, it's frustrating.
It's a bummer. And we have some people here, on both sides of it. We have one guy at 11:55 saying, we've been patient for 15 years. I get that it's a new staff again, but I'm tired of it. If we don't do well this next stretch of theoretically winnable games, I'll just stop watching for a while. Okay, I won't stop watching for real, but I'll be upset about it. That's one side, right? At some point, someone has to get it right. Mm-hmm. Again, it means too much. There's too much poured into it for it not to get right at some point.
Yeah.
The other side of this is, well, it's a new coach. Well, they're only 5 games in. They haven't even played half a season. Give them time. It's not their roster, not their guys. And here's the thing, Strick. I can't say either one of those sides is wrong. Mm-hmm. Both sides are correct. Yes, it's been 15 years. It's been too long since Nebraska has been honestly taken seriously at a high enough level of college football.
Right.
That's true. But it's also true that 5 games gives you some early, potential yellow flags, but I haven't seen any red flags yet. Nothing to say, oh, yep, we should start over again this year. There's a very thin line between, cutting bait at the right time and doing it too early or too soon. 5 games is not that point, right? Give them a year, give them a couple years. And that's what I keep saying on this show on Old School too. you have to accept the reality of where Nebraska is at right now, but that doesn't mean you settle for it, right? You can accept that it's year one of a coach, but you don't have to settle for it. There's a difference there.
Yeah, there is. It's, you may not like it, but I think where my mind goes is understanding that the history of Coach Rule. You're looking at other programs around the landscape. You can even look at like Notre Dame, that wasn't taken over very long ago. But then you look at where they are as far as maybe their skill positions, maybe even the quarterback. You look at other aspects of them. How has their defense or their offense improved over what they were doing?
Mm-hmm.
We seem to have a regression. And I'm going to be honest about it. To me, a big mistake, because I think it's a bigger picture issue. And here's why I say that. A big mistake that we made, I think, was just basically allegedly pushing Casey Thompson out the door.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bad mistake. I think the Jeff Sims situation may have set the program back potentially minimum of 2 years. Because if you look at the recruiting, if anybody on the text line can tell me who at the core, because that's one of the most important positions in college football for the success of a program as well as the success of a team and how well they play, is the quarterback position. So when you look at that, who can you say, honestly, that's coming down the pipeline that has a savior ability within them outside of the fact that he just happens to blow up out of nowhere, which you can't predict, right?
Right.
You can't see that. So as a receiver, which you're very much lacking right now, you look at the receiving numbers, and as a portal transfer or a young player coming in out of high school, can you honestly say, I'm looking at the quarterback and I'm looking at the receivers room, and can I honestly say I want to be in that room? So now you're set back in recruiting there for however long. Because until that changes, i.e., I said this before, if some of you may not, have taken that into account, what I said, that is why I believe Jordan Addison left at the pinnacle of his winning awards, best receiver in the country. Pickett goes off. I don't know what's coming. I'm not sure. I maybe have seen him on a scout team. I maybe watched him with his reps. I don't like that. I'm out. And so, but he ends up going into the league, still having not the same type of numbers, but he still had a successful,
He's
run.
WR2 as a rookie.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking big picture, Austin. When I'm thinking about this, I just don't see an exit strategy for opportunity to get better soon.
Some of that big picture stuff we definitely need to dive into. And luckily today's Monday, so we can do that with our recruiting guy, Brian Munson. Plenty of people here on the text line talking about recruiting as well. Big money is one of them. We will talk about this. I think that's a good conversation to have with Brian Munson. I really do, to get his insight on a Nebraska level. But Brian's plugged in. We'll get his perspective too on, other programs that have been where Nebraska is. How did they dig out of it? What does it take? Before we go to break, Strick, for the first break of the hour here, Big Ty sends in, I don't think we realize how bad of shape this program is in. It takes a lot to rebuild something that was torn down for years. Again, yes and no, because I think it's fair to say there's more going on in North Stadium and in this program behind the scenes than fans will ever know about. Like not as much coverage as there is on Nebraska football, not every single detail gets out. Some of it might pleasantly surprise fans. Some of it would disgust them to some degree. It goes both ways. Plenty of stuff won't be known, but the head coach knows. The players know. The coaches know. The athletic director knows. But the best coaches rise above it. They accept the reality of their situation, and while it to some degree plays into what it looks like on the field, the best coaches rise above it. The best coaches find a way to make anything else going on behind the scenes not matter, and they make everything else fall into place by being good on the field. Big ask, year one. I get it. Again, I'm in team patience. You're only 5 games in right now. But the best coaches find a way to put all that other stuff to the side, compartmentalize, and not use it as a fallback, as an excuse.
So let's get to that point, because we were last week talking about the human elements.
Mm-hmm.
You just got thrashed in your stadium. I mean,
38 points, and it wasn't that close.
Literal beatdown. Like, there was nothing you could do, and there's nothing you could do to stop it. And I gave numbers, and I told you, if Nebraska doesn't do this on defense and doesn't do it is not going to be, because my original prediction was 41-7. That was early last week. You can go back and check the tape if you think of. Now, I had hope that if Nebraska wins a turnover battle at 1.5, they stop them and don't let them over 150 yards passing and over 150 yards rushing and over 200 yards. I think it would be a closer game, more along 14 points. That was what I said. So now the human element is going to kick in. You have some dejected kids in there. You have some inspired kids, probably Joshua Fleeks and guys like that happen to get off a little bit towards the end of the game, probably feel good coming into this week's practice, maybe get an opportunity. But you have some dejected kids in there. The messaging of what you're going to say to these kids to get them inspired for this week, short week, to turn, this is where we're going to see the messaging, the coaching, the inspiration that can hopefully change, because they need to change it this week. You probably didn't expect to win Michigan, but God darn it, you've got to get this next one, because they're not as good as, I think it's equal parts. It's a 50-50 toss-up. But you got to play. So you've got to get them on point, messaging, get their mentals right so that they can prepare for what's going on this week.
7 more opportunities on the schedule, but only one of them matters this week, and that's Illinois on Friday. Same opportunity because it's just one game, but a different opportunity. There's no number in front of Illinois like there was in front of Michigan, and it's not, the number 2 like it was in front of Michigan. So there's not another win that would be such a statement as to a Michigan level on Nebraska's schedule, but every game's gettable. I want to continue on the human element part of this, Strick, somewhat relating to Michigan. But Matt Rule had a quote at the press conference today that really stood out to me. I want your thoughts on it. Text line, I want your thoughts on it as well. We'll get to that quote from Matt Rule and all sorts of other Nebraska-Michigan chatter as we continue on the block next.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations and all our Allo communities.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Strick and Austin back with you here at 1040 O Street. Grand opening on Thursday, 6 o'clock Thursday. Get your butts down here. We should have Raising Cane's available. All your favorite ticket personalities will be here for the official grand opening of 93.7 The Ticket's new studio. Again, Thursday night, 6 o'clock. Would love to see you here. BJ, Jim, Brian on our different streams. Love seeing you guys there. Text line, you are on a roll. Keep it up. How are you feeling about Nebraska, the state of the program after Michigan, and especially going into Illinois? Strick, I want to play a clip from Nebraska head coach Matt Rule earlier today at his weekly press conference. We're going to play it. It's about a minute long, and I'll tell you what stands out to me, and we'll see if we have the same thoughts. Here's Matt Rule.
We have some really good players. They're going to play in the National Football League. They need to show up. They need to show up. The good players from Michigan, I know, I can tell you who they were because I watched them on the field, okay? Our really good players need to show up. And that's not me calling anybody out. That's me giving them confidence that I believe they can do it. There's a big difference, right? I'm not calling anybody out by name. We have guys that I believe on our team can absolutely wreck a game, and I want to see them wreck the game. And this whole, I'm just overthinking it a little bit, coach, and I'm worried about this, and I don't want to make a mistake. Okay, enough. The first play, I get all these texts. Man, what a great catch! Caught him on his helmet. Cover 3 in the middle safety players at 5 yards. Just missed assignment. Second play, touchdown, missed assignment. Third play, missed assignment. All the touchdowns, missed assignments. So we're better than we played, right? So you tell me I want to get that off my chest to the guys. I love our guys, and all I want our guys to do is play football with confidence. I don't want them playing football afraid to lose. Play football with confidence. And so that's my job. I haven't gotten it done yet. So I'm anxious to play on Friday.
There's a lot there, Strick.
There's a lot in that.
Matt Rule sounds exasperated. He sounds like he doesn't know why things are the way they are right now. Sounds like a man searching for answers. Again, the last part of the quote, I haven't gotten it done yet. It's my job to find it, right? Just like you were talking about. It's the coach's job to find the right message, to find the right way to teach, to get the guys to make the right play. But the part that really stood out to me was at the beginning. We have some really good players. They're going to play in the National Football League. They need to show up. The good players from Michigan, I can tell you who they were. I watched them on the field. Our really good players need to show up. That's not me calling anyone out. That's me giving them confidence that I believe they can do it. I think that's the right message in front of the media, right? To speak that life into your guys and say, hey, you're good players. We see it. We need you to see it. Just go do it. I'm okay with them getting called out in the locker room. I'm okay with these, really good players being called out by their position coach in meetings. Call them by name. Challenge them. If they're men, if they're Division I college football players, they'll stand up under that challenge. You can't baby them. You can't, right? Yes, development takes time. Yes, it's year one, yada, yada. But if they're really good football players on that team, there aren't enough that are anxious to prove it because they're still playing scared, because they're holding back. Right now, I think this is a Nebraska team that needs to be challenged by its coaches day in, day out. If that takes calling guys out individually, go for it. Yeah, Matt Rule's not going to do that in this press conference. Go name by name, call guys out that he thinks needs to play better. Position coaches need to. They have to hold their best players to a higher standard and get those guys to raise their level.
So here's where I would say it's what's scary to me is in the answers. You understand where I'm going? It's the answers that the players gave him. It's the answer of, oh, well, coach, I'm just afraid to make mistakes, miss assignments. That's something you can handle. Film, study, 3 touchdowns on missed assignments. That in itself, that's scary to me. Mm-hmm. That means
we're in game 5 and you're missing assignments.
That's lack of discipline. That's not you, trying to be in the right position. Because if you're in the right position and you're doing what you're supposed to, there's no coach in the building that can call you out for it. That's on them. Mm-hmm. You're in a cover 3, a cover 2, a zone with cover 2 on one side. Whatever it is, whatever your zone is where you're supposed to be. I think one of them, let me see. So it was the answer. Let me just stay there. It was the answer of, I just don't want to make a mistake. No, because the message should come. The response to the message, if it's going to another level or going to another place, the response to the message to me would be something like, Coach, you know what? You're absolutely right. I've got to do better. And go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a coach ever came to me and says, dang, Strick, well, no, not even dang, damn, Strick, what you gonna do tonight? Allen Iverson's got, he's got 25 and he's shooting over 50%. The goal today was to be there on catch. The goal today was to down the ball, meaning don't let him go over the pick and roll. If I let Allen Iverson catch, I'm not there on catch, and I let him go over pick and roll, guess whose fault that is? Me, right? But if I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm there forcing him down, and he hit shots.
You did your job.
I did my job, coach. Either we got to do what? Make an adjustment, change it, or do something different. So that's what I'm saying. So the answer is what kind of, that's why I'm worried. That's why I really want to see what it's going to look like this week. Mm-hmm. Because if that answer sets in, we're in trouble. Some of the people on the text line are saying that if they lose this game against Illinois, some of you on the text line, you know who you are. If you lose this game in Illinois, say goodbye to a bowl game. because we're going to get into that later on, because we're going to be able to look at that schedule and kind of say, where is it going to come from?
Because you need 4 out of 7.
You need 4 out of
That's
7.
the math right now. And we'll get to that in a sec. But on the human side of things, Strick, you're spot on with the answers, meaning what drives Matt Rule crazy. Like, I hadn't thought about it that way. I think you're spot on with that. Take the accountability, but don't just use your work, use your actions, right? Yeah. That's the follow-up as a player. It's not just to study, obviously study more, but then put it into practice.
Because there's a difference in this reaction. You're Matt Rule, right? And you come with me with that. And I look you in the face and I say, oh, yeah, coach, I mean, I just don't want to make mistakes. I'm overthinking, You heard that. It's different than me looking at you and saying, you know what, coach, you're absolutely right. I got to do better. That's something you can speak into. That's something that you can look at in the room, in that group or whatever, and say, they get it. You can have some expectations on what they're going to do this week in practice and challenge them on that. I thought you told me you understood me. I thought you can challenge them on that. But the one where it's like, oh, well, I'm thinking, how can you get somebody to stop thinking in that negative of a manner? Like, what do I say to a player like that? You know what I'm saying?
Because then you kind of have to comfort them to some degree. It sounds like you're not even allowed to challenge them if they're not challenging themselves.
That part. And that's a bad place to be. Because if I've got to pump and prime you, we're already lost. The fact
that means
that
you're spending
in this
more time on that instead
part,
of the game plan.
There you go, Austin. Yeah. See, this is the part of the discussion we were having last week that I was hoping people could understand. That it's just not X and O show up, throw our guys out on the field, and hey, there you go. Remember, you're not old enough to remember, but there was a game when I was a young kid that it was a football game. It was electronic, right? It had the men, and you put the men on the board, and you just turn on the button. Some of you guys will be able to know what I'm talking about. Text me and give me a thumbs up or say yes if you know what I'm talking about. So it was a football field, and it was a board, and they had these little men on it, and you set the men up in whatever formation you wanted, the running back, and then you let the thing go, and you hand it off to the running back, and he goes, and he just starts kind of going. Sometimes he'll turn around and go the wrong way. Wait, no. You know what I mean? That's not how the game is played. It's not just set guys up, turn them on, and be like, let's go. No, it's elements to that game, which is one that I was thinking about. I was frustrated because I was sitting on the west side of the stadium. I was in the stadium sitting on the west side. And at first, it was a hot day. I walk up. I'm like, ooh, we in the shade. And so, this may not be anybody's fault, but we're in the shade. And I'm like, ooh, yes, I'm never going to sit anywhere but in the west side of the stadium, except probably in the winter. So this is why I get it. This might be something to this. But the Michigan players was in the shade, chilling, while Nebraska was in the heat, not only getting beat up on the field, but getting beat up by the sun on the other side of it. Now, it may work in their favor in the winter because then you got the sun in the wintertime as opposed to in the shaded area in the wintertime where it's probably colder. So I don't know if that's part of it, but to me, if I could, I would switch. But I guess DP said something about they have to stay on one side or declare one side for the year.
Which, again, is all fine and good. Either, I don't care which side they're on, but it's just another little thing that adds up.
Yeah.
Another little detail that probably doesn't mean a lot, but could mean something. Is it at least being asked? Is that question being asked about sidelines? I don't know.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. I've been in pads sitting on the side and been like, God dang. And there's nothing you can do. I mean, they got little, fans and mist machines and yeah, but at the same time, it can be frustrating. And then you're getting beat up, even more frustrating.
Let's finish with this on the same kind of emotional side of things. Strick, we came on the air last week after Louisiana Tech and said that was a Nebraska team that looked flat, that looked dead, uninspiring game.
That part.
We hear more of the same against Michigan. Louisiana Tech, okay, I'll give them a pass. They just came off their first win. Maybe they were smelling themselves a little, which they had no reason to, but okay, maybe they were. College kids get their first little taste of success. They feel like they can, take a week off. So they cruise against Louisiana Tech. To not come out fired up, ready to go from the get-go against Michigan, and then to fall back on that as your excuse, oh, we played scared. Oh, coach, we didn't know if we could do it. That's a problem. And to me, Strick, it points to one of two things, and maybe they tie together. Number one, the lack of an absolute playmaker, game changer on the field. A guy that you know is a threat to score a touchdown at any time. A guy that can get into the backfield and wreak havoc.
Percy Harvin.
Someone like that.
Yes.
You don't have that.
No.
So you don't have a guy to lean on in a game like this.
No.
But on the emotional end, who is the heartbeat of this team?
Do you know?
I don't.
That's the problem.
And that is the problem.
That's the problem. Starter Heyman text line, if you know who the heartbeat of this team is, 402-464-5685. Give us a thought. What do you think and who do you think it is? On the offensive side, give us both. One on the offensive side and one on the defensive side. I'm having trouble identifying, just like my partner Austin.
Because even just having that guy, like even if it's just one guy that is that emotional heartbeat of the team and at least is trying to get the team fired up, juiced, ready to play, great. We don't see any of that on the sideline.
Yeah.
It's meek. It's quiet. And that's reflected the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you don't see nobody going. You don't see nobody having a Tebow moment, going up on the side and getting in their face. Like if I'm getting beat that bad, okay, I'll give you an example. I was playing football. This is when I was still playing football. Okay. We're playing the number 2 team in the state, Creighton Prep. Bellevue West, we were still trying to emerge and come out. We was trying to make our first playoffs, right? I was a two-way player, so I played on defense. I played linebacker. On offense, I played receiver. They were running an unbalanced line, okay? In their unbalanced, they was just running the same play over and over again. I'm yelling at the coaches, make the adjustment. They're unbalanced. Nobody's hearing me. So now I'm talking to my defensive lineman, shift, move down. They're unbalanced. No one's listening to me. So I took it on my own account. The running back at this time, I think his name was Jason something. He comes around the end and I go on the sideline mad. And I chase him down and I hit him so hard they heard it up in the stands. Whew. And this is all I heard from him when he got hit. And he was on the sideline for a whole 2 series. Because who's that guy that's going to say, I'm tired of them doing the same things to us, or I'm tired of this happening over and over again, that's going to make a difference or make a change or get in somebody's face or tell somebody that, man, you're out of freaking position, you're killing. Who is it? I don't know. I have a problem knowing. I
do too. We're getting a lot of votes for Luke Reimer here. Okay, maybe, but I haven't ever seen Luke being that guy that's fired up on the sideline, getting in people's faces. Oh, and by the way, he not only was he out, he went to the hospital for a non-football thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Definitely something to monitor. Wish him the best. Hope he's okay. Harburg is the emotional leader of your team. He is stoic as they get out, right? Maybe he needs to be, but he's not right now. Nash Hutmacher is just finally bursting on the scene. Is he loud? Is he in people's faces? I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Ty Robinson's a lead by example guy. That was one of the challenges for him, was be a vocal leader, step up, get in people's faces, hold them to a higher standard. Ty Robinson's played fine football, not elite, but that's no reason to still not try to get guys fired up. There is no answer as to who the heartbeat of this team is, and that's not something the coaches can answer. The coaches can't say, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, I need you to do this. It's on a player who is finally sick of it, has finally had enough of this crap, and wants to tell everyone else they're tired of it and get more people tired
That's
of
what
it.
I was saying. That was just an analogy of what we're saying, the same thing. I don't know who that is.
We know who we want it to be. We just don't know who it is.
Yeah.
They haven't proven it.
Yeah.
We'll keep talking about this and more, but Strick, someone at ESPN says Nebraska's going to a bowl game. They put it in there in writing. I saw it today. We're going to talk about that. Text line, is the season over? Is the bowl game still on the table? Let us know. 402-464-5685. We'll discuss next.
It's football season, and that means coaches everywhere are busy making game plans. Hi, my name is Seth Morris with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no 2 opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we know no 2 cases are the same. Whether it's a DUI, a criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. We are relentless trial attorneys serving all of Nebraska. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. Again, that's libertylawnebraska.com.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
In downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Bure's Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Text line streams. Y'all are on fire. Keep it up. Does Nebraska make a bowl game this year? That's the question. They need 4 of their next 7. Let us know. What are the odds Nebraska makes a bowl game? Do you think they pull it off? What would have to happen? All that stuff. Let us know. 402-464-5685. And big thanks to Allo as well. They give us channel 951. If you're an Allo subscriber, you can watch us there. And we'll talk some recruiting with Brian Munson on our Allo VIP line here in just a little bit. All right, Strick, before we get to the bowl game thing really quick, Notorious B.I.B. asks, shouldn't our heartbeat be the head coach? Yes and no. Again, I feel like a broken record saying yes and no. The head coach sets the expectations. The head coach is the figurehead of the program. He sets the tone, I think would be a good way to do it. But as much as the head coach runs the locker room, he kind of doesn't. That's a sacred space for the players where player leadership shows through. The head coach is worried about calling plays, maybe substitutions, big picture stuff. He doesn't have time to go talk to every position group as soon as they get off the field. Check in with them, congratulate them after a big play. There's a lot going on. On game days, players have to lead. In practices, coaches can't correct every little thing, especially in team setting. Players have to lead. Head coach can set the tone, but the heartbeat, the juice, the energy, I think has to come from the players.
It comes from within. It does. And each person has to hold each other accountable. Usually the upperclassmen, definitely hold the lower class. No, I don't want to say lower classmen.
Underclassmen.
The underclassmen accountable, and so forth and so on. And sometimes leaders emerge in those underclassmen groups, and you have pockets of them throughout a team. I mean, you're talking about what, 60-some players? On its 55, what is it, 55, 60? On football team.
On an NFL roster, there's 52. On a college football roster, Nebraska's in the 120s.
Oh, okay. So let's just say amongst those groups, you probably, in pockets of groups, you probably want to have about good 20 people that, whether it be in the weight room, whether it be on the field, whether it be in drills, that are guys that are taking lead or holding people accountable. On teams that I've played on, I was a bridge between coach and player. So I was a leader, probably more vocal than most. Tyronn Lue was a very quiet guy. He wasn't a vocal leader. He just did it. Pike was not a vocal leader. He did it by action. So you're going to have groups of those that are just going to do it by action. But
you can't just have those guys.
No. Like, for example, do you think Marshawn Lynch was a vocal type of leader? No. He did it by action. He went out there and beast moded people and let you know this is how it's going to be. And this is how you need to be if you're going to play with me. That's kind of how the mentality was for him, right? He wasn't going to go sit in press conferences and make a whole bunch of statements pumping guys up and priming. No, he was going to go beast mode on you on the field and follow my lead. You know what I mean?
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll wrap up hour 1 here in just a sec then.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, not going to lie, that threw me for a loop. I was so used to the Royal station ID, but they're done. Finished up on Sunday. Okay, back to football. William, Steve, Rob on the YouTube stream. Appreciate you guys chiming in. William, are you a Nebraska fan, or are you just hating just to hate?
Or are you a troll?
Yeah, just tell us what you are. If you're a Husker fan, we can talk to you. If you're just trolling, okay, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. But Strick, Mark Schlabach of ESPN, along with Kyle Bonagura, put out bowl predictions. They do this every week. Mark Schlabach has Nebraska going to the Quick Lane Bowl. He has Nebraska getting
the Chick-fil-A Bowl?
The Quick Lane Bowl.
Oh.
Up in Detroit, it would be at Ford Field, a 1 o'clock Central kickoff at Ford Field, playing Frank Solich U. Nebraska versus Ohio in the Quick Lane Bowl. There's that Mac reference for you there, William, who says he was a Nebraska fan, is not anymore. All right, Strick, 4 wins in 7 games. Nebraska's got chances. They've got opportunities.
Tell me how it's going to happen.
It starts with a win over Illinois.
It's got to be it. You've got to put money in the bank so that you can withdraw when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, they're paycheck to paycheck.
They're lucky Minnesota was week 1. They kind of overdrafted that one.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, right? So Illinois, let's just put it in the win column.
You need Illinois.
Northwestern comes next.
Need Northwestern.
If you do not beat Northwestern, I think you can say goodbye to it. You have a 3-game stretch, probably 2 toss-ups and 1 you should beat, even though Northwestern gave Penn State everything that they can handle
And
for a
beat
period of
Minnesota.
time. And beat Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't overlook them because you shouldn't be overlooking anybody. Everybody that you show up on the field with, you should be going all out and nothing left on the field when you leave. That's the way it should be the rest of this time. You've got 3 opportunities, really 4.
Purdue at home. Just put up 44 on Illinois. I'm still not sold on Purdue, but I'm not sold on Nebraska either. So there's those 3. And then you start November off strict with the trip to East Lansing.
There you and is it gettable? I think it is.
But you got to show something.
You got to show something, baby. You got to show me something. And the way that they play in these next few games will tell me a lot about whether or not, because they got to go on the road to Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on the road to Illinois, lay a flat egg, what's going to tell me or give me any type of security of my mind that you're going to go up to East Lansing and do any different?
Nothing.
No, nothing.
So to that point, Strick, these next 4 games for Nebraska seem like their most likely path to bowl eligibility. You finish the year with Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Strick, the last time Nebraska won 3 games in a row was halfway through the 2016 season. Nebraska hasn't had a 3-game winning streak since wins 5, 6, and 7 that's capped the 7-0 start to the 2016 season. Since then, they beat Minnesota and Maryland, but lost to Iowa in 2016 with a chance to win even 3 in a row. They beat Rutgers and Illinois, but lost to Wisconsin in 2017, won 2 in a row twice, but lost the 3rd game in 2018 and 19. No 2-game win streak in the 2020 season. 2021, you close out start your non-con with 2 wins. You beat Fordham in Buffalo before you lose to Oklahoma. You beat Indiana and Rutgers last season. You lose at Purdue by a possession. Now this year, you beat Northern Illinois, you beat Louisiana Tech, you lose to Michigan. It has been since 2016 since Nebraska's won 3 games in a row, let alone 4. There's no reason right now to say Nebraska wins 4 games in a row.
That's a great point. Even though it's favorable.
It's on the table
schedule.
for them.
It's on the table for it to happen.
But they got to prove it before we pick it.
But see, the beautiful thing about that is this is the opportunity. Like, this is where if I'm coach and I'm looking for inspiration, I'm looking for little mini goals like that to break. A mini goal of we haven't since 2016 won 3 games in a row. We have a stretch here, fellas, that I need your best effort in practice because this is what we're going for these next 4 games. We're going to beat that record. Not only win 3, but we're going for 4. Let's just go get these 3. Let's win that, and then we'll see where we are after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a conversation you can have. Set these little mini goals, whether it be by yards. Okay, we want to have this. We want to have that. Certain amount of, just set these little mini goals amongst the team. I mean, that's stuff that we used to do. I mean, we used to set goals of we're going to hold them to under 33% shooting, blah, blah, just you set these mini goals that you can actually look at the end of it. I don't know. They may be doing it, but I'm just not seeing it.
I'm not either. I think it's important to note, too, you have to have that big picture goal. Like, hey, let's do something again. Kind of like what Bo Pelini did with that 2012 team. They had to win out after a certain point to make it to the Big Ten championship game. They end up doing that. But, Strick, I don't think this team can focus on the big picture. They have to take it week at a time, game at a time. Give me everything you have this week. And then after that's done, put your work into your bye week. It's just a week off of playing. It's not a week away. And then you put everything into Northwestern week. And then you put everything into Purdue week. You have to have the big picture in the background, but week to week, I think, has to be the approach.
Yeah.
If you can't get 3 at a time without getting 1.
Yeah. Well, let me we have a texter on the stream, Grant Wassenberger. Read that on Grant Wassenberger, because I think that's pretty interesting. And this goes back to what I was talking about with quarterbacks and with receivers based on what they're saying. But look at that.
Grant says, my son told me if he gets recruited by Nebraska when he gets older, he doesn't want to play for them. He wants to be on a team that doesn't look that bad. He's an offensive lineman.
He's my son. Yeah. See? But this is how young men are viewing these situations. This is how recruits, and you need skilled position recruits.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, listen, I don't care how much you guys you can be mad at me or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying this for the purpose of anything other than the example. This is why when we were sitting on air, I said, let me check with Dion. Because one thing I knew that we would get immediately was you got a quarterback, you got one of the most electrifying players in the country and can play both ways, and you're going to get skilled positions. Can you, anybody listening on this line or on the text line right now, tell me where we're going? If your son, just think, no, don't think about it just from outside being a supporter and a big Husker fan and so forth and so on. No, tell me, this is why I understand Cluster Johnson, my brother. You know, I can understand his point of view from what, as a father, he was saying and listening, and everybody wanted his sons to be legacy. But his sons are looking and saying, well, they don't do this, they don't do that. I don't feel the quarterback. You know, they're making all these different assessments.
Love you, Pops, but not just for you.
Exactly. Tell me, if you were a parent of a young kid and you knew the situation, you're looking at these stats, you're looking at how bad, less they throw the ball, and you can make a decision to say, I would send my son there, even though you went here, even though you played here, you can honestly say that you would do that. I want to know.
Yeah. Let us know, 402-464-5685, or on the stream if you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Last thing here, Strick, it's something I've been harping on for the last couple weeks, really. Aaron says, isn't Rule's presser confusing when he says it's his fault, but he's calling for the players to step up and play to their ability and not miss assignments? No, those things aren't mutually exclusive. Everyone in that program has to be better. Coaches have to find a better message that connects with more guys on the team. Players have to step up and play better if they're capable of it. Either they're capable of playing better and they're not playing up to their potential, or they're not good enough. And Nebraska needs better players, right? It's not this or that. It's not coach or players. They work together.
Yeah.
It's everyone in that building. So, no, it's not confusing. It's the truth, because both sides have to matter. That's what it comes down to. He's Strick. I'm Austin. We're going to answer this question on the other side. Who is the best team in college football? Who is it? If you know, let us know. I think Strick and I are both searching for that answer. We'll go through our thoughts on who the best team is in college football before we talk some recruiting with Brian Munson here in hour 2 of On the Block.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
power combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Allo communities.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mostly sunny skies. Will be breezy and hot this afternoon as well. The high of around 94. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Will be warm with an overnight low of around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are likely. We'll see an afternoon high of around 82. Meteorologist Kyle Cutler from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Stricken Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Stricken Austin.
That's right, Stricken Austin, back with you here for hour 2 of On the Block on a Monday. Appreciate all of you for tuning in, whether you're driving somewhere in your car, walking past the station right now, sitting at home watching Allo Channel 951, at work on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or of course, the free app for your phone. Make sure you download it. And later in the week, make sure you check out Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. You see it there covering up the computer if you're watching on the stream. Mary Ellen's located at 29th and Pine Lake here in Lincoln. Give them a big shout out. We appreciate everything that they do for us, and we know you'll love it when you get down there and experience it either for the first time or the most recent time. So big thanks to Mary Ellen's for sponsoring On the Block. A couple things on the text line here, real quick, Strick. We need to do what Dion did and just clear the roster out and start over. Okay, I get the theory, but again, let's not forget whose decision it was to bring Jeff Sims in.
There, that was something. So that's just a question I had. I'm really befuddled in trying to wrap my head around where do we go from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really perplexed in my mind. I'm looking at the roster. I like the growth of the defense. I'm looking at the line, and you hear them talk about, oh, this line is, they've been together now for some time. They're great together. I'm like, what are you guys seeing? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I said this, if Nebraska's going to have a chance, they have to average 3 to 4 yards a carry. They couldn't get 2.
Nope.
Until the end, the end saved the average, but until the end, they was basically 2 yards rushing.
Oh, and by the way, the guy that had the average saving carry is now running back 2 on the depth chart.
We just don't know. I just don't know where we go from here.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue. And so part of that question did pop up in my mind. Who was the texter that said that?
That was from Brad.
Brad, shout out to you, Brad, because that was something I was thinking in my mind. Not to be a copycat but I'm saying it might take an absolute overhaul or clean out, right? Like, for example, let's just say this. Let's just be practical. If your house is infested, you can't just continue. If your house is infested with rodents, if your house is infested with roaches, whatever the house is infested with, you can't just continue to vacuum the thing. You can't continue to just put down smell good. You can't continue to just do the same thing over. You still have an infestation.
Mm-hmm.
You sometimes need to clean out the house, throw some things away, embalm the joint, have
toss.
Man, I'm just trying to give a practical example. Sometimes that might have to be the case. I'm hoping that's not the case. I understand the way because rules theory is I'm going to coach them up. Y'all tell me, 402-464-5685. We've had a sample size now with players that are going to be here, and tell me if there's a Travis Hunter type coming behind him. No, I'm not on that level, but somebody skilled that's coming in the next year or two that's going to change the dynamic of what you're seeing right now. Tell me. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of the same.
I'm with you. Byron the Hog Farmer says we need proven portal players and not backups from big schools.
Wow.
But I would ask this question. Do you trust a group of 5 starter more than a backup at Georgia? Maybe that's a bad example, but I think it's pertinent because think about getting MJ Sherman, how big a difference Nebraska fans thought he was going to make. He hasn't flashed yet, but that's a guy that Georgia's coaching staff raved about. So the only reason he wasn't on the field is because there was other NFL talent there ahead of him. He was respected in the locker room, hard worker on special teams, great kid. That's what we heard from Georgia. Would you rather have a guy that was good enough to get recruited by Georgia or a guy that's gotten in reps at a lower level coming up to play at Nebraska? I don't think there's a wrong answer, and that's where you get to this nebulous concept of fit. Who fits what you want to do, who fits your culture, and then can you develop them wherever they're from?
Well, that's Rule's MO. That's his blueprint, is to get them on campus and school coach them up. But the issue with that is to coach somebody up, there has to be some tools already in the shed, right? There has to be something: footwork, speed, agility, heart. There's got to be something that you can work off of than just a whole bunch of lump of clay. A lump of clay that's not the type of clay that you can actually mold, but it's just a lump of sand that's thrown together. That's a different type of clay than the clay that you need to mold something up to become usable.
Big time.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's still porous if it's got sand in it. I don't know. I'm just thinking logical today, y'all. But let's be real. You know, it just can't be something that has just flat out speed. But what's good at speed is if you can't run routes. What's good at speed is if you don't freaking know plays or you're confused. What good is a 230-pound running back that doesn't understand how to read holes and just runs to one hole or another? That's the thing. You can't coach. Some of the things and the gifts that people have, you can't coach. What's the young man's name? Help me on the text line, 402-464-5685. Here's an example. Young man, the game was looking bleak for Colorado. Young man that was recruited by Nebraska.
Amarian Miller.
Recruited by Nebraska. He leaves Nebraska. None of that would happen here because he wouldn't even been thrown to that much.
It's true.
He wouldn't get 200 yards.
No.
They need to throw, so it's working to his benefit, whether he stays or whether he goes. He's got tape to show that he has the abilities. Now, obviously, once the mirrors of the eyes turn to him and the game plan says, oh, wait now, watch him. That changes because it catches up with you, i.e. Ben Simmons.
Oh, you went there.
I'm just saying, I'm on fire today, but I'm done with that one. We good.
To me, it doesn't matter where you get the players from as long as you get the right players, right? And that's super reductive, and I understand it. But the coaches are in the get it right business.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have to, get it right and win a national championship this year. Maybe they don't have to get it right and win the Big Ten West this year. Okay, fine. We can argue what getting it right looks like, but at some point there has to be payoff. At some point you just have to say, this is an excuse. We're done with it. Get a good player in, or get a good player that no one else knows is a good player. Get the under the radar guys and develop them. And again, I get it. It takes time. But Strick, what Nebraska needs is that first class to be developed in, 2-3 seasons, to stay on the field for that junior year, that, third year sophomore, fourth year junior, fifth year senior kind of role, to let other under the radar, underdeveloped guys get those reps in practice. And then by the time the old guys leave, you have more older but less game experience guys to feed in there, right? Get old, stay old.
Yeah.
Nebraska hasn't done that. And then sometimes you do need a flash from a freshman who just has different athletic gifts than anyone on your roster. A freshman that, is mentally ahead, that knows the plays and can survive despite, maybe fewer physical traits. You can sprinkle those guys in there.
Right.
But it's been a long time since Nebraska was both old and talented across the board. They've been old at a couple spots with guys that have come back for years. Even that 2021 defense, right? All those guys coming back for their sixth years.
Right.
That was a good defense, but Strick, with that many sixth-year guys, should have been an elite defense. But it was just pretty good.
Okay.
It was just solid.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues. There's a lot to fix at Nebraska. And it's on the coaches to get it right. But that's not to say the players don't have a role in getting it right.
And this is where this offseason, it's not that I'm looking past it, but this is why this offseason, to me, in the decisions that they make on who they're going to bring in, for me, what I look at it right now, y'all, listeners, everybody listening, when I look at it the way it is right now, I'm at a minimum, we're 3 years behind schedule.
With all the decisions that have been made?
Yeah. The quarterback, I believe the quarterback decision that was made has set us back 2 years minimum.
We're going to keep talking about quarterback. I asked a question to Sam McEwen yesterday on the Husker Extra Hour that I'll definitely want your opinion on sometime soon here, Strick. But we're going to talk recruiting with Brian Munson. We'll step aside, get him in. There's been a lot of recruiting chatter here. Does Nebraska have the dudes? How does Nebraska get those dudes to campus when things look like this? What is Nebraska's capability in getting some of those dudes, capital D dudes, to campus? We'll ask our guy Brian Munson that and plenty more next here on The Block.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Allo communities.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big fall sales underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados, and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels, and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the block, we are efforting Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line. Hope we can catch up with Brian here in just a little bit. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you here during On the Block. Strick, a question we didn't get to that I still think is interesting to talk about. Who's the best team in college football? Your number 1 ranked team is still Georgia. Your number 2 ranked team is still Michigan. Texas is up at number 3. Ohio State, Florida State, Oregon, USC, Washington, Penn State, all in that conversation, in that kind of, mid top 10 to back half of the top 10. The rankings would tell you, like I said, it's Georgia, still in that number 1 spot in the AP poll. Are you buying Georgia as the best team in college football this year?
They still haven't shown me the same type of dominance. But look, so many of the reason why they were so dominant, their defense is gone. So there's a lot of guys that are still filling in. So I just haven't seen that kind of dominance yet. It's still early enough to where they can continue to get better and start to show a little bit more. But right now, Oregon's looking strong on both sides of the ball. You got to look at Texas. I think this next game with Texas against Oklahoma, the Red River, is going to tell you a lot about who they are. Venables would definitely love to get a signature win there in Oklahoma and against the rival after having a pretty much of a dismal season that he probably felt last year.
Yeah.
A lot of calls for his head. People were questioning him, so forth and so on. So, but yeah, I'm not even going to say Washington. I'm not going to say, I don't think USC. I don't think, I'm still, still not sold on Florida State yet. So right now I would probably say Texas and Oregon. Grant Wassenberg, I think Berger would agree. He says the best team on the stream. He says the best team, YouTube stream, the best team is looking like Oregon or Michigan. I don't know about, I'm still not fully sold on Michigan. I still would like to see another test, maybe against Penn State, or, how they prevail against maybe Ohio State could tell me a little bit more in that situation. I don't think their schedule has shown me who they've played at this point, that they're really who they say they show they are. I don't think we're a good team right now. So beating us the way that they beat us with that kind of dominating fashion doesn't really tell me anything.
Michigan finally looked like the Michigan I thought they were going to, and it sucks that it was against Nebraska.
Yeah.
It really thought that was going to be how they treated, Bowling Green, East Carolina, UNLV, teams like that. Georgia, it's not their year. I'm going to say it. Again, if this comes back to bite everyone, because I spoke that into existence, that's on me. I'll wear it, y'all, but this is not Georgia's year. Defense, to your point, Strick, not there. Even the offense has taken a step back with a higher rated quarterback.
Yeah.
Carson Beck's been on campus. He's been working. He's no Stetson Bennett, which is kind of funny to say. Auburn hadn't passed for 200 yards in a game until they faced Georgia.
Right.
It took Brock Bowers going absolutely superhuman nuts in that second half for Georgia to win that game. And it's not the first time that they've been in a dogfight. It have. I mean, South Carolina gave him a game. Or no, it wasn't South Carolina. It was...
Yeah.
It was South Carolina.
South Carolina. They had him
right.
down
I was thinking
at a
USF
half.
for a second. Yeah, but that was Alabama.
Yeah.
Also not Alabama. Bama's out of that discussion. They've taken care of business the last couple weeks, so they're looking better. I just don't trust Alabama's ceiling. If you ask me, Strick, today, the 4 best teams that I would want to see in the college football playoff, again, with the caveat that we are 5 games into this college football regular season, give me Michigan, give me Penn State, give me Texas, give me Oregon.
Yeah, interesting.
I am on the Penn State bandwagon. Penn State, I think, has taken care of the most business. And again, I get it. They struggled with Northwestern for a half. I don't want to make an excuse for them. They shouldn't have. But Penn State at least dominated that second half. They put their foot down, said enough is enough.
Yeah.
It's taken everything Georgia's had to claw back from halftime deficits recently. Michigan finally, was more dominant against Nebraska. Texas might have the best resume in college football right now.
Yeah.
Texas might, between the win at Bama and then handling Kansas the way they did. Again, don't love Kansas, right? They're fine. They were down their starting quarterback. Jalen Daniels was out. But Texas might have the best resume in college football right now, and I hate to say it.
And I hate, like you said, I hate to say it, but they're on the upswing. They're on the upswing. I think on both sides of the ball, they're pretty solid.
For sure. Okay, Brian Munson is checking his phone now. He was detained. So, Strick, let's take a break here. We'll make this our short segment.
Okay.
We'll go no crossover, but we will talk with Brian Munson of Husker Online, get some recruiting headlines from him here in just a second.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 3rd are buy a New York strip and get a free finished flat iron steak. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Looking for a convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Now through October 13th, you can join for just $1 down, $10 a month. We've got over 2,400 locations with most open 24 hours. Join now to enjoy free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Whether you're new to a gym or a fitness pro, the judgment-free zone is the place for you. Join Planet Fitness today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Cancel anytime. Deal ends October 13th. See Home Club for details.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
93.7 The Ticket has moved downtown and you're invited to join us for New Beginnings. Join us for our grand opening on Thursday, October 5th at 6 p.m. to celebrate our new space with ribbon cuttings and more. Raising Cane's will be on site to provide entertainment and prizes as we bring downtown Lincoln the newest hangout spot for its favorite radio station. It's 93.7 The Ticket's grand opening at the new 11th and O location, sponsored by Raising Cane's. Tune in throughout the week for more information on times.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's football season, and that means coaches everywhere are busy making game plans. Hi, my name is Seth Morris with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no two opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we know no two cases are the same. Whether it's a DUI, a criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. We are relentless trial attorneys serving all of Nebraska. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. Again, that's libertylawnebraska.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 3rd are buy a New York strip and get a free finished flat iron steak. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
It's not often a man wakes up and says, I feel the best I have in years. We hear this all the time at Limitless Mail, and it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Strick and Austin with you, joined on our LOVIP line, as promised, by Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, the proud owner of a new Buffalo Bills desktop or table mat of some sort, good for silencing both phones and dolphins, apparently, here, Brian.
Yeah, first of all, it's gorgeous. I love it. It's a great gift from my wife. It's a little happy belated birthday present to me, and it came in handy this weekend, obviously, because of the big time win. But today, when you tried to call me on it, and it's the only phone call I have missed today, so I took it out of my pocket and threw it on the thing, and I knew you were calling me. Man, I tell you what, you won't get a vibration out of that thing when it comes to silencing your phone. That thing is like a neoprene sleeve that you would wrap like one of those medical wraps around one of your knees or your ankles or your quads or whatever. It's pretty nice. It's a high quality little thing there, but yeah, it's good for missing phone calls too, apparently.
Well, we're glad we have you now. Plenty to talk to you about, and we'll start kind of big picture here, Brian. Husker fans on our text line and in our comment section are apoplectic. It's the end times. Nebraska needs to go to the MAC. How are players ever going to want to come to Nebraska if this is the consistent result? How would you respond to those fans?
I get it. I had a lot of questions for me about how I was going to go about asking questions this weekend, and I've got a ton of interviews still to go up. So please be patient with me as I was taking a little bit of time out of my day yesterday to watch the Bills beat up on the Dolphins. So one of the things I think that's very unusual about where we're at, like in the current cycles of recruiting, is that Nebraska's recruiting class for next year is like 95+% complete. Now, there was a really high number of recruits that were in Lincoln this weekend. I think it was like 14 of 26. I think were in town. You had an excellent opportunity to like get guys like Kewan Lacey and Mario Buford and Corey Barney and Willis McGahee. There were a lot of dudes that were in for their first trip because they're literally the furthest away guys, from Lincoln other than like Preston Talmua. So you get a chance to kind of bring all those guys in, and obviously they're committed to what Nebraska is becoming under Matt Rule, and they all had to kind of buy into what Matt Rule has been able to do at previous places, Temple, Baylor. There's a rebuild process. He starts out this way and it becomes this way, and there's got to be this progression, and you can help lead that progression and the improvements and all that stuff. So that's kind of a 2024 take. But then you get to the 2025 and the 2026 guys, and there were some absolute dudes that were out there. Darius Dixon, one of the top 100 players in the nation of 2025. Jackson Cantwell, Kevin Ford, two guys that were top 100 in the class of 2026. And I had a chance to catch up personally with both Cantwell and Ford, and then I had a chance to kind of read off or listen to an interview that Sean Callahan and Steve Sipple had done. And talking to Cantwell and talking to Ford, they're not overly concerned. I mean, obviously the game didn't go the way that everybody that they hoped it would have gone. And they know that Michigan was, arguably the best or the most talented team, the highest rated team Nebraska will play in the regular season schedule. And they're kind of to the point like, I'm not really interested in what Nebraska is now. I'm going to be recruited by them for the next 3 years. And they know that like this snapshot in time is not flattering. However, they have a place to kind of start, and they have a place to kind of watch from. And I think that that's about the best news that I can kind of give to people is that, there isn't this overwhelming, like, oh, what am I going to do? Like my only D1 offers from Nebraska, and, boy, they got blown out by the number 2 team in the country, like one of those deals. And there hasn't been any type of feedback along those lines. I really don't know what else to kind of say. Even guys like Christian Jones, the linebacker from Omaha West Side, very similar kind of message, like it's not what he's really focused on at this point in time. So I think that that's like what I can kind of give all back to you. I think that Nebraska's problems are pretty well seen and pretty well known. And I think that it's very difficult to watch a game like what you watched on Saturday and not be able to kind of pick up on those things. And some of those guys that were in the stands, they saw the needs and they're ready to go. Like they see a clear and true path right to the field once they get to Lincoln. And that's another positive step that you can or positive move that you can kind of take to give to those guys to let them know, like, you're committing to a situation that will put you, on the field, as a true freshman, and you can forget about redshirt and you can forget about just playing your 4 and sitting. This is the way things are going to be. And then I think, obviously there's the other side of that whole argument too, with asking about like, well, yeah, but if they're playing true freshmen, why are they not performing like other 4-star wide receivers, across the country, like the kid at CU that was committed to Nebraska for the longest time? Why is Malachi Coleman not putting up those numbers? Why is Jalen Lloyd not putting up those types of numbers? Look, there are many, many, many factors that go into all of that. And there really aren't that many dudes that are true freshmen this year that are 4-star wide receivers that were rated higher than Malachi Coleman. They're really not having all that much better of a year than what Malachi is. At least a week ago, that was the case. So I think it just requires a little bit of patience. And I think the guys that were in Lincoln this weekend had really, really good perspective and a nice lens to kind of look through.
Brian, I think it's funny. And like, I understand where the fans are coming from when they say, oh, it's more of the same. The messaging's the same. It's all hope this, future that. I want results, sooner than later. We're tired of waiting, which, okay, fair. But also that's what recruiting is selling hope and selling a future. So that message can't really change that much. But also I think, to your point, that message is viewed incredibly differently from recruits who are worried about their own, 4 to 5, maybe 6 year snapshot of things, as opposed to fans who this is the only team that they're courting, that they're interested in watching, and that have been fans for a lifetime, not just getting to know this program.
I totally agree with that as well. I mean, that's their limited snapshot is, Nebraska is here. My dad has told me that, Tom Osborne and Tommy Frazier and all those guys were, winning national championships in the 90s. And obviously, Trev Alberts played a role of that, getting them back to kind of being, top of the country, even though, he didn't win a national championship. Now he's the AD. So you've got these ties back to that kind of time period. But these guys that you're talking about now, I mean, they were born in 2005, 2006, 2007. I mean, think about that for a minute. I mean, that's pretty incredible. I mean, there's really not a lot of hope that you can kind of go back and say, hey, you know what? Nebraska won their last national championship 10 years before you were born. I mean, that's essentially the message, right? And so I think that while you've got to understand, I think a little bit like what kind of goes into it, and that kind of has that mapping of success that Rule has had from kind of rebuilding a program up. And I think that everybody kind of understands also, there was some really kind of interesting feedback this weekend also about like facilities. Which I thought was kind of different, because I think as these guys kind of go on, they kind of realize that facilities become kind of a consistent theme versus there's like an arms race, to kind of continue to keep improving them. So I think that those guys, I think that they've got really good perspective on what to kind of look for. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have such a limited view. They don't know a lot about Nebraska football. They don't know a lot about college football unless you're, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, the teams that are consistently like in that top 4 year after year. And fortunately, I would say fortunately for Nebraska, it hasn't been like a wide smattering of programs where you'd have to understand or try to figure out why Nebraska hasn't kind of been there. Nebraska's had their struggles, but guess what? Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, the other teams that might be recruiting some of those guys regionally, they're not getting their names thrown around with those top programs either. So they might as well go ahead and be part of the same bucket, because it seems like you're kind of in or you're kind of out, and you're just everybody's trying to get in. And that's the difficult part, I think, that everybody's trying to face right now.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line. Allo, committed to exceptional service with local heart. Contact Allo today for all your home and business internet needs. Brian, some of those guys that made it to Nebraska for their first time in Lincoln, despite being committed, what did you hear from those guys and their thoughts on actually getting to set foot in the 402?
Yeah. I think everybody's really excited about the future. I think the game day atmosphere, for them it's incredibly exciting. I love the changes that Matt Rule and his staff have made to game days. I think we talked about this a little bit last week, where we kind of touched on like what's different, like what are they doing a little bit differently? And I will tell you this, there wasn't always a great opportunity for recruits to catch up with coaches. Now it seems like those guys have essentially, a time where they are catching up with the coaching staff, and they're getting brought in earlier. They're doing tours. They're getting their height and weight, and they're having conversations with staff members. Like sometimes before it was just like, get your ticket, go to your seat, enjoy the game. We'll call you later. And that's kind of, I understand it. Like those are business days, but there's a level of effort that those families are making, to put the gas in the car and get in the car and drive down. And heck, I talked to the Connor Carty, the 2025 lineman that picked up the offer from Prosper, Texas. They flew into Kansas City, rented a car, drove from there. Talk about effort. I mean, if you went all that way and you didn't get your 5 minutes, right? You didn't get like that kind of conversation a little bit. It would be incredibly disappointing, and I think it'd make it even more difficult to kind of make it back for a second trip. So I think that the Nebraska staff has made a really positive change in that regard to kind of make sure that all those guys are feeling like they're part of the weekend and are getting a little bit of time from the staff, even if it's a game day and they've got to get back out there to go coach again.
All right, Brian, two guys I want your opinion on. You definitely mentioned earlier in the segment, they tie together two different aspects of the Brandon Baker. Let's start with the offensive tackle, number 1 rated offensive tackle at that aspect, and Jackson Cantwell. Who is he as a player in the 26th class? What was his experience like in Lincoln?
Yeah, Jackson's big time. This is a guy 6'7"-ish, 280 some odd pounds already, is like a 16-year-old kid. And
Wow.
His Twitter is phenomenal. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, because some of his strength training, some of his drills, some of the things that he does, I mean, 16-year-old kids shouldn't be doing that. And he's just, he's got incredible genetics. He's got incredible bloodlines. Mom is from the state of Nebraska. Track folks. And I think that he's a guy that over the next year and a half or two, things are going to go pretty crazy. And, obviously Oklahoma's trending very big for him. He had no problem in telling me, though, that he was coming back for another Nebraska game. So there was nothing too negative about the weekend that basically said, I'm never coming back to this place ever again. So Jackson Cantwell is going to be a national recruit, number 1 offensive tackle in the country, 2026, number 1 player in the state of Missouri. I think he's the number 2 player overall right now, currently in the on 3 top 100.
Then the modern day aspect, Darius Dixon, a highly rated cornerback. What about him as a player?
Yeah. Obviously a big time dude, another modern day guy. I mean, the fourth modern day guy that we have talked about now in the last 8-9 months. I think that's like almost a story into itself. It's like, where did this come from? Number one, how is Nebraska continuing to do it? Number two, and then, it's kind of interesting too, because like Dixon, before he left for Nebraska, he reached out to Brandon Baker to kind of get, the kind of the lowdown on what to kind of expect about, going to Nebraska and what to look for. And Baker was ultra, complimentary. Like, Nebraska does it different, man. You're going to love it out there. The coaches are awesome. It's one of those, it was just a really, really, really great segment to kind of hear and listen to. And if you go to the Husker Online YouTube channel, actually, you can listen to that as a recruit spotlight. So it's a fascinating interview. Interesting, with him, obviously, that he's taken, I don't even know, like 12 or 15 visits already.
Wow.
So, yeah, just definitely something that pops out. These guys that are out there on the West Coast and the redistribution and the addition of these Big Ten teams like UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington, how is that impacting him and his decision? Some pretty good stuff in that interview.
Definitely check it out on the Husker Online YouTube channel, like Brian said. Brian, last thing for you, as we tie Cantwell Dixon together, number 1 rated offensive tackle, modern day in that conversation as well. Nebraska's current staff, not even previous staffs, but this collection of coaches has taken those big swings with your Dylan Raiola, with your Nate Frazier, your Aiden Breland, your Brandon Bakers, guys like that. They're doing it again. They're not scared to get back in the batter's box. Is that something? Is that nothing? What do you make of that?
I think it's something. I think that, essentially you got to know what the big dogs are thinking about you. You got to know what those guys are valuing. Even if it meant that you were a year or two away because some sort of facility was all the rage and Nebraska had to quickly, add it to its, next plan for expansion. I mean, even if you got like really discouraging news, it's kind of an unusual kind of recruiting North Star. You can use that to listen to and hear about what's really kind of, thought provoking and turning the wheels when it comes to recruiting process by some of the top players in the country from basically the number 1 high school program in the nation, or at least on the West Coast. So I think that that the type of information that you can get from them and the way that you can kind of curtail your recruiting process, it's huge. And I think you have to cast a wide net, and that wide net has to go out there and grab those top national guys and bring them in. And I think you also need to go out there and be really effective in, your own backyard and in the 500-mile region, especially in the border states. And then you have to know, that you have to get to those states that are so important to recruiting, like Texas and Florida, and make sure you're down there getting those positions that you need, that you can fill down there, and get the guys that you can get out of there. So I think that's a really, really wide net, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see like how also like he mentioned, like Dixon mentions, with the whole Big Ten and the additional teams and becoming more relevant, I think, to Los Angeles and the West Coast as a whole.
Listeners, make sure you check out Brian's write-ups on all these guys. They're at Husker Online, part of the On3 network now. Brian, enjoy your Bills desktopper. Continued success for them. I'm glad you didn't miss anything more important. I'm glad it was just us. Thanks for making time for us.
I'll talk to you guys next week. We'll see you, man.
There he is. Brian Munson joins us here on our Allo VIP line, providing you exceptional service with local heart. And that'll just about do it for us. Strick, a lot of good stuff today. A lot of college football. I'm sure we'll keep talking some Nebraska-Michigan tomorrow, maybe some Nebraska-Illinois. Got Monday Night Football tonight, but tomorrow, Strick, we're diving into the NFL. What a weekend in the NFL yet again.
Yeah, once again, another great week. It's some wild things happening out there, man. Some people are benefiting from some kind of funky. I mean, I watched the Jets defensive end get held for like 20 seconds, and they called a penalty on the Jets, and it's some funky stuff going on out there. But football's fun. Let's keep it going. It's good. It's a great time of the season.
I love how you're just dropping that firecracker in at the very end of the show when text line can't tell you nothing. But we'll talk about it again tomorrow. We got DP and Jay waiting in the wings. I'm sure Jay will be all ready to talk about his Buffalo Bills, even his Houston Texans, what CJ Stroud's doing. So stay tuned. That'll be old school coming up here in just a couple minutes. For Strick, I'm Austin. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 2 to 4 here during On the Block. It's been a blast. Catch you later.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's not often a man wakes up and says, I feel the best I have in years. We hear this all the time at Limitless Mail, and it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas,